This is Max.
This is Jhyrah. This is Can You Handle the Heat? Today we're starting off with I wouldn't say a special, but kind of just recapping some things that have been going on in the news. It's been a while since we had a sports episode.
I was
Seems
gonna
like
say,
we've
are we
been
even
more
a
of a
sports podcast anymore?
on God. That's what I'm saying. Uh, it's we're letting down our real Can You Handle the Heat fans. We've been catering to the loud minority, and now it's time to go back to the quiet majority. But
Very.
starting off with some good old sports, we're gonna talk about some NFL, the No Fun League, um, running backs. It's a pretty big market right now, or well, at least a pretty like talented market pool than Loki. I can't think of a more talented like running back market
In
in
recent
recent
years.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. Who else? You said Tony Pollard,
Yeah.
um,
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler. I don't know. Any places you want to like actually like see these guys in?
Well, I don't know if I want to see him go somewhere because then I'll have to play. The Patriots have to play him. But I know this one has been rumored heavily has been Saquon to the Texans. So I think
Yeah,
that would be really cool to see him on like a good team on a good offense because he's still putting up solid numbers on a team where they know they're running the ball 40 times a game. But the fact that he was still able to move the chain sometimes is pretty respectable. And, I mean, they still have Damian Pierce, so it'd be like a good 1-2 punch. And I don't know if Singletary's contract is still there, but that'd be a good
I think
running
his
back
contract
room
up
for a
this
team that
year.
needs. Trying to think, Eckler. I feel like I could see him going somewhere that needs a running back now. That's maybe the oh no, no, I'm trying to think a team that's good and needs a running back bad that would take him for cheap. I don't know. Uh,
Ravens.
yeah, that'd be good. Because I mean, Lamar
I
throws a lot
mean,
of checkdowns.
yeah, I've like over this offseason so far, the Ravens and have been really heavily linked with both Saquon and Derrick Henry. But the thing is, like, they don't have any money.
Yeah,
So it's it's how are you going to get these top prospects who aren't going to take like I doubt maybe Saquon might take a paycheck or pay cut. I doubt Derrick Henry's going to take a pay cut because I feel like teams are going to be bidding for him. Um,
but
so
also,
I
I
don't know
mean,
how
the
they.
Ravens already had a good running back room. I mean, I know a lot of them got injured, but even still, they still played really good. People that did come in, Justice Hill was great for a period of time. Keaton Mitchell, when he was healthy, was showing a lot of explosive plays. Who's the other guys? Justice Hill and Gus Edwards had a bunch of touchdowns this year. And I mean, they didn't even
Yeah,
use J.K. Dobbins, so who I think is also a free agent. But I don't know. They're
I mean
definitely not going to be able to spend big on a running back, so they'd have to take a pay cut if they went there. So someone
I
like
think they're I
Eckler,
think
who's older, would make more sense.
yeah. I mean I think the biggest thing with like the Ravens when it's come to been linked to these bigger names, it's not that they haven't had offensive production um outside of these running backs. It's more so just like I think they've been like, oh, if this random third round draft pick that we got can have success, then should like imagine what this Hall of Fame talent can have in our system is more so the thought process, I think. Which I mean I
Yeah,
agree with, but also I don't know how much they should buy into the staying run focused. Uh,
I mean, they
but
needed to run heavily against the Chiefs, and they didn't do it in every game. But in the past, that they had played well, they ran the ball a lot. So I know there was a lot of criticism on that. I think they only ran it 8 times. But I don't know. I mean, you have to have a run for Lamar to be able to pass and move out of the pocket. Because I mean, if you know you're passing every time, it's going to be hard for him to maneuver and get out as much because they'll just start sending blitzes. Um,
yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, people there's got to be a team out there that was in the playoffs that was okay that needs a running back really bad. I mean, the Patriots could go out and get one of these guys. They have a lot of cap
yeah, true.
and they have Ramondre, so it'd be more like a backup kind of guy, which I don't know if any of those guys would obviously be a backup. Um, But I mean,
I
Tony
mean, the
Pollard could be a
Vikings, they don't really
backup.
have.
The Vikings is good, yeah.
I'm trying to think who
Because the
else
Vikings
who probably
Vikings
needs
have Ty
one.
Chandler. Oh, I'm sure the Eagles could go out and get one of them. They always
Maybe.
go out and get
I
running
mean,
backs. I don't know. I don't know how long Swift's contract is.
Chiefs again, money, but like outside of Pacheco, who they really have is a running back
Yeah, Jerick McKinnon,
because they're probably
CEH.
yeah. No, I'd rather have Austin Eckler.
Yeah, well, things he's coming off a
I
down
don't
year as
know.
well, so maybe he's not in that much of a position to negotiate for a big contract. Because those last few weeks he was getting benched. Yeah, the Broncos could maybe go and get one. I know they have a lot of cap and they've got some injury problems over there. They probably look for one of the younger guys. Gosh, I got like we're definitely missing a team that needs one. Maybe the Bengals. I mean, if Mixon's leaving, then they need to get a running back. So I think someone like Eckler or Henry would be good.
I mean, do you think like, I mean, especially like Derrick Henry, do you think he's going for a payday or going for a ring? 'Cause, I mean, he has
Um,
pretty much all the accolades now at this point,
that's not. I mean, other than, I mean, he's had big contracts in Tennessee. No,
decent ones. I mean, I'm pretty
it's
sure
like
this would be his like big payday.
it's hard to put myself in their shoes because obviously it's so easy to say go get a ring and take a pay cut, but at the end of the day, someone else is going to get a ring and they're not taking a pay cut, so that could be tough. Um, but I feel like Henry has. I mean, he's been to the AFC Championship before and he's been close, and like he knows what it's like to be on a successful team. So I think he's gonna want to go to a successful team, but also want a payday. So someone that has a lot of cap that is also gonna be pretty good. Um, I just don't know what team that is. The Bills go out and get someone. I know they have James Cook, but they get again someone who's like there to be like a 1-2 punch. I feel like that's more and more common these days. Yeah, the people like Eckler and Pollard who had down years, I wouldn't be surprised if they went in and had to either fight for their role on a smaller paycheck just because they weren't as successful as they have been in the past.
Yeah, next year y'all are gonna have third most cap, 78 million, insane amount.
It should be
And Bengals
84. I
actually
think
have a
we've
lot
had
of
someone else.
Bengals actually have an insane amount of cap. They're around like 48 right now.
Yeah, so I would go and get Derrick Henry then. That's what I would do. Someone who's older and more experienced. I know he's people are saying he's like slowing down. But I mean, Saquon has injury issues. Henry hasn't really had much of like an injury problem. But they need to have the. I know they have. Well, I think his name is Chris Evans or something like that, who's been pretty solid for them. But they need to have someone that can be like a power back. So a
I
Saquon.
mean, if they got Derrick Henry, I mean, I think so much of the pressure off of Joe Burrow, where it's just like plays where you don't even think anymore. You're just like snapping the ball, handing it off, and it's just like, okay, go get like 5 yards real quick, Derrick Henry.
Yeah. So maybe it would be better to get one of those bigger guys than like one of the small ones like Pollard or like Eckler. They would
Oh
want to
yeah,
get
no.
someone
If
that's
I'm the Bengals, I mean, especially with how much cap space they have, I don't know who they have to re-sign, but I would. I don't know. I wouldn't go for Saquon if I was them, just 'cause I think that's too much of an injury risk. But I think like Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, um,
isn't it Jamar
Eckler
Chase's
on a
contract
cheaper
year?
deal. Excuse me.
Isn't it Jamar Chase's contract year?
No. If they haven't already paid them, they're not thinking about paying him. Like that's not like
I
at
know
least
they
in their
tagged T
rearview mirror yet.
Higgins, so that's something. And then they're letting Tyler
No, they
Boyd
haven't
walk. Or
tagged. They haven't tagged T Higgins yet.
yeah, they have. They officially did it the other day.
Oh, today? Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a person that's worth. I mean, I don't know. I think T Higgins is a talent worth tagging, but also at the same time, it's like the reason he wanted to leave is because he's being underutilized in their team. Um, so I don't know how much that's going to change next year. Because I mean, they were a winning team. They
I mean, the
went nine
fact
and
that
eight
Tyler
without
Boyd
their
is
starter.
walking, though, I think will help him get the ball more. Because I mean, I don't know if they can bring in another receiver that'll be able to go out and get yards like those two.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see like where I'm interested to see what the money is like for the running backs. 'Cause I mean, last year, you know how we talked about. I mean, the whole community was talking about just running backs can't get any money whatsoever,
Yeah, I mean they're always hurt.
and that's why all of them had to take like the 1 year deals. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I know like a few years ago, it was like Juju who like broke like the wide receiver like market. So I don't know.
I
Maybe
cannot
we'll
wait
be
to
a
have him
surprise
go into
guy
my
again.
franchise
Damn. Why are you talking about the greatest player of all time like that?
because we signed him and then we found out that his knees are like genuinely exploded.
Don't talk about John Sherman, Smith Schuster like that ever again.
You can have
That
him back.
man, I'd take him back in the Steelers on like a vet man.
Be better than Allen Robinson.
Eh, he's about the same, but yeah, he might be a little bit better because he's younger. I don't know, but speaking on running backs and moving on, I feel like the quarterbacks are a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
Anyone. I mean, there's like Justin Fields out there who may or may not be traded from the Bears. There's
they did say
Kirk
if they
Cousins out
drafted a
there.
quarterback, then they would trade him and like let him find a team that he wants to go to, which I feel like is a no-brainer. I don't know why you would keep them both, but yeah, he's definitely interesting. Kirk is also interesting to me. I think he'll go back to Minnesota, but I'm interested to see how much money it is, especially with how much Justin Jefferson is going to get.
Yeah, Russ potentially going to be cut. Um, I know Jameis
That's who
Winston has
y'all should
talked
get.
about wanting to be a starter. I'm trying to think who else. What other quarterbacks are out there? I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get cut.
Baker.
Nah, I think Baker's just going to like. I don't know. Like, he might be a free agent. I don't actually know if he is, but like,
He is, yeah.
I'm pretty. I feel like it's pretty like set in stone that the Bucks are just gonna bring him back.
Tannehill.
Yeah,
Y'all are going to sign him, I think.
I think if we sign him, we will have made another move. Like instead of either if that's we draft a quarterback to come in and compete with Kenny, we pick up Russ. I think no matter what, we're going to. I do think Ryan Tannehill does end up with us though, simply just because of like his comfortability that he has with um
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. So I just think that makes the most sense for him. Kind of just where he's at a point in his career where he's not good enough to really be starting, but he's not bad enough to be like fully banished to the bench. Like instead of
Yeah.
your starting quarterback wasn't playing good, like Bro can definitely come in and like execute a game plan.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened. Will Levis like only went in because he was the young guy, and I feel like they needed to develop one of them, whether it was Willis or Levis. But I mean, those are two guys that really are hoping that he leaves. I'm sure because all the less competition to have, and I'm sure I don't think he went on record as saying that he doesn't want to mentor people. So kind of an interesting
I
thing.
mean, to be fair, that's what every like veteran quarterback who's on a decently competitive team that drafts a new quarterback says. You know, because I mean, you don't want to like imagine like you training a guy for them to take your job and then you get fired. Like who's gonna just outrightly like do that? Like no, like no
I
matter
mean, if
like
I
how
was
good
in
of a person you are,
retirement
you're
and I was
not
getting
gonna
a
do it.
bag, I would help out my company.
Yeah, except for in Ryan Tannehill's eyes, he doesn't see himself as being like close to retirement. He's, I mean,
He should.
in his eyes, he's
He
probably.
has been. He has been close for years.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like that's not what he feels like.
Well, he needs to know that. I don't care how he feels.
Look, it's hard for athletes to really come to terms and be like, oh, we are not who we used to be.
Boo hoo.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind Ryan Tannehill, but not as like a starter. If anybody, I'm telling you, I won't Russ. It just makes Russ makes too much sense for the Steelers.